So hey guys, welcome to another video. Today you join me in the Porsche Cayman GTS. Now obviously before I did the review of the 720S, I did the overview of the Range Rover SVR. Today I wanted to kind of address the question that I've been asked quite a bit, is what is a really good first sports car slash supercar? I think this car falls really well into that sector, especially because of the price. The other cars that we've been kind of reviewing, like the 720, you know, obviously north of 200,000, near 300,000 pounds. The SVR, again, north of 100,000 pounds. The Ferrari as well, of course, you guys know the figures. This car falls into a different price bracket, so I thought it'd be cool. This is actually a super fun car. What we're gonna do first is go and get it washed because it is filthy. And then we'll go for a little bit of a drive. I really am excited to show you the exhaust note of this car. It's crazy. People don't realize what kind of exhaust tone comes out of this car. You'll see in a little bit. So we're gonna jump out, have a look around the car, do all the usual bits, show you the interior, and just talk you a little bit through it. So let's go get it washed. The car is now looking really clean. What I want to do now is kind of just talk you through a little bit about the car, what it feels like to drive, what's its competitors, what is it in the same kind of price range that's competing with this car, and genuinely why I love it so much. So let's go for a little drive. So now, let's get out of the car, have a look at it from the outside. I'll talk you through a little bit what the kind of spec is. Yeah, let's have a look at it. So now we're outside the car. Finally, in England, it is sunny, so apologies for my sunglasses, but otherwise I'll be squinting at you the whole time. There's not actually a lot to show on the outside of the car, so I want to show you some of the styling. The main thing being is that all the other cars have loads of carbon fiber, they've got special aero bits, they haven't got any of this stuff. When we're talking about cars in the price range of 60,000, 50,000, 70,000 pounds in the kind of, when you start looking at sports cars, that kind of price, there's not a huge amount that you get on the outside. So we'll just take a look around the car, show you a few of the bits like the wheels and everything. So yeah, let's do it. I've gone for the 911 wheels on this car. I think it looks so much better. The standard ones on the Cayman GTS and also on the other Caymans are a little bit basic. So these 9-spoke, 10-spoke wheels look really good. And it's got this kind of two-tone effect. So it's like a almost gunmetally off grey color, like it's diamond tone, but it isn't actually on these cars. So you get the look of a really nice wheel without actually spending too much money. The red brake calipers, of course, are really important as well. So the car's got these kind of matte black finishes around in certain places. You can't really have many options to change that. So there's no carbon fiber exterior options that you can go with. It's a bit of a plastic look, but again, when we're talking about this kind of price range of car, you're limited in what you can choose. So obviously being a Cayman GTS, that means it's special of the Cayman S, and then of course you have these different, what am I doing now? This is where you see a few differences between just the Cayman S and the Cayman GTS. Small little bits like smoking the lights, the writing on the back that's kind of blacked out. Little changes that they made like this were trying to differentiate it obviously between a GTS and an S. There have been some upgrades with the engine, so they've taken it up by about 30 to 40 brake horsepower, and a couple of other things that they've done to the car in terms of more specifications, so getting the cars at a certain level of spec. So a lot of the times people take a Cayman S and take it up to that level, but of course they didn't have the enhanced engine and a few of the other bits. But little things that they've done have just made the styling of the car look so much better. Another good thing about this car, which makes it such a good daily driver, is the boot space. So not only with Porsche do you have boot space in the front, but you've also got it in the back as well. And here you can easily fit in a small kind of suitcase, you can easily do shopping, lots of different things, so it's really good for that. Now let's jump inside and have a look, which I think is a really important part of the car because the interior is so fantastic. You're basically going to get the feeling of being in like any other Porsche because they have such similar interiors. So let's have a look inside. So looking at the interior of this car now, I absolutely love the interior. It's a mix between obviously Alcantara and leather again, which you can see from other cars I really like. The black and red, it always works. A lot of the time people try and go for something crazy in these cars. I just don't think you need to. Some of this stuff looks so good. So this in this car has come with basically every single option you can get in the interior. You've got carbon center console, you've got the carbon on the front dash, you've got carbon on the door cards, you've got the Alcantara steering wheel, you've got Alcantara in between the seats, and you've got leather on the side. What they've done here, and which which is what I'm trying to get across, especially for spending this kind of money on a car. You get the feeling of being in any other Porsche GT3, GT3 RS. It's a very similar feeling being in this car because the cockpits are so similar. So for the kind of money that this car is, I just think it's fantastic. So now we've had a look around the car. Hopefully you guys can see why I'm trying to say that this car is such good value for money. So let's talk about price. So this car, brand new, was about £62,000. Incredible value for money for what car you get. We're never going to be comparing to like a supercar, and I know you guys know that already, but it is really amazing as you still get that feeling. Having driven the other cars, having driven Ferraris, the McLarens, and all the other cars, you still get a really good feeling as if like you're driving a supercar. The car itself is, I'm just chucking into sport mode here, otherwise it really holds you on the gear system because the PDK on this is amazing. The feeling that you're getting when you're driving this car is of basically a go-kart on the road. You feel like you can throw it everywhere. It's so small. Yeah, it's rear-wheel drive, but you still have that fun feeling of you still think it's going to be stuck to the ground. Like I mentioned before, is not a special edition car like the Cayman GT4, but these cars, and the other thing with Porsches that's fantastic, which is why it's such a great car to buy when you're in that price range, is they hold their money so well. So while supercars and owning sports cars is not just about the money, you have to be sensible at the same time. The other feeling of driving this car, which I actually don't like, is the steering wheel size. For the car that it is and the size that it is, the steering wheel is a bit too big. It's cool to have the Alcantara and everything, but grazes against the leg sometimes. I know you can adjust it, and I do make those adjustments, but then I feel like the steering wheel then moves too high into the view. The other thing that's really good about this car, and of course with most Porsches, is the PDK system. The actual gear changing system is, I think, unrivaled with any other car. Again, the benefits of buying a Porsche, which you can't really do with Ferraris and Lamborghinis, is you can enter the market and have the same technology that's on their higher end cars, but it's still on a car that's like £60,000. In order to be connected to the road, a car like this gets you the same feeling as like you were in any other supercar. Entering the market at that level and being able to get that feeling is just nothing else you can do. If you talk about even rivals in the price market with this car, we're talking about maybe a Jaguar F-Type, maybe an Aston Martin Vantage, like second-hand. I really love one of the cars that I used to have. I think the most important thing about a daily driver is the fact that it's really comfortable. You can still have like 21-inch wheels on the car, but the ride is fantastically smooth. And it's helped by, of course, the seats with the Alcantara and the extra cushioning with the leather and the support on there. And again, you've got the bucket-style seats, so when you chuck the car into sport mode, you still get that feeling. One thing that's really good with the Cayman GTS is you get something called PASM. It sounds a little bit weird, but actually PASM is their kind of adaptive suspension system, which is kind of a bit like an air suspension, but basically it's just giving you that really smooth ride. Genuinely, as this car is so good. Not only does the car not lose value, every single mile in it is good fun, and you don't have to worry about the miles on these cars as well. Put on as much as you want, not think about how much the car's going to go down in value. Owned it for about a year and a half now. I'm not the only one who uses it, actually, to be honest. My sister drives it way more than I do. But yeah, I genuinely love the car so much. So guys, once again, thank you so much for watching. Oh, it's a nice Ferrari California, tan interior, I like that. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I'm going to do a few more like this just because I think that I'd love to be getting in some other cars that aren't mine and doing some reviews as well, just getting a feel for this kind of format. Next few videos coming up, just so you know, will be Aventador S collection, Dubai vlog, and then a very interesting trip to the Far East. A lot more to come. Really appreciate the support so far. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe and do all the other little bits. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.